Welcome back to another League of Legends guide, Hope fam. The reason why I made this guide is because a lot of people didn't like the Shaco beginner jungle guide because they didn't play Shaco, therefore they didn't watch it. And because of that, here is my super basic how-to WW jungle guide. WW is the hands down #1 best jungler I recommend to anybody who's trying to pick up the jungle. And I recommend the jungle to newer players because it's a very easy role. However, you need to be level 9 to unlock smite before you can actually jungle, and then 13 or 15 before you can customize your own rune pages for effective rune pages and builds. Now, before we start, a few things you should know are your own champion's abilities, your build paths, the game plan, early to mid to late, if you do get to late game, and then some tips and tricks on how to gank and when to gank, which we'll go over in this video. You should also know what camps give most XP and which lanes are going to be the easiest to gank. Now, before we go over that, I just want to show you guys the build path really quickly. Warwick is such a good champion. He's very, he's very flexible. So this item right here, Titanic Hydra, usually I just get Tiamat and I finish tanking up. Otherwise, if we're winning really hard, I just go ahead, I finish my enchantment, and then I can, if I'm winning really hard, I can go Titanic. If my team's doing okay, I'm doing okay, I just get like Merc Treads or Ninja Tabbies, depending on who's most fed, or if they have a lot of CC. If they have a lot of CC, I oftentimes go for Merc Treads the most. CC just being stunned, slows, that sort of stuff. Get me out of there sooner with the tenacity on it. And then there's a bunch of options you can go. The two options you get to choose from would be Deadman's and Spirit's Visage. So now the nice thing about Spirit's Visage is if you're ahead and their AP is ahead, you can build it. But I really like Spirit Visage because it gives you extra healing. So the more extra healing I get on Warwick, the better. It just increases all healing received by 30%, which is just amazing on Warwick. Now, Deadman's play just gives me more movement speed, and with more movement speed, I can actually ult further on Warwick and actually get to catch more people out of position. Now, that's if I'm ahead. Now, if I'm extremely behind, which it's super rare because it's just super rare because I go into the games with like my head in the game. I get a game plan, I'm ready to do it, so I never fall behind. But anyways, if I do end up falling behind, or for some reason they have a really fed AD, I just rush Thornmails. It's just a super good item for healing reduction, and then armor option, just really nice. Now, if their ADC is super fed, I might even go Randu and Zoman. Because the crit, it just depends on what you need. Any of these tank items work on Warwick. They're all great. Wits End is actually, in my opinion, like super troll, but I do it all the time because it's so fun. Like we're winning so hard, I'll just go Warrior into Titanic into Wits End because I need magic resistance, and I could always go for Spirit's Visage, but I just like attack speed, so I just build Wits End, and if I die, I die. But generally I don't. And so that's pretty much Warwick's build path. You can pretty much build anything on this guy, just kind of make sense out of it. But the most basic is this into this into this into this. But if you want to be creative, feel free to put anything else in there. All right, let's go over some runes for Warwick. Now, if you're confused on runes, you just download Blizz.gg and it'll do everything for you. But if you want to be like really good at the game, you can actually get to understand the runes. Two of the most common ones is Press to Attack on Warwick and Conquer. Conquer gives you some healing, extra healing, so super nice. Triumph, OP rune right now. It's gonna keep you alive for a good amount of time. And then Alacrity, attack speed. And then Last Stand helps you with Eternal Hunger, Warwick's passive, which we'll talk about. It's going to give you a lot more healing when you're lower, so that way when you're fighting, you're close to death, it's easier for you to come back. And so anyways, you have a few options here. It's really whatever you want. You can go Conditioning, Revitalize, Font of Life. Usually what I tend to do and I like to do is I do Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter. just like to get as much lifesteal as I can as possible. Sometimes what I'll end up doing is I'll realize I need a little bit of CDR, and so I'll go here. And then let's see, what else do we do? And then I also go water walking as well. Sometimes actually not even CDR. I like celerity and water walking. So in the river I walk faster, and then celerity I get movement speed buff. So there's a whole bunch of ways you can do this. And then demolish, you know, if you're looking for the splits, that sort of stuff. Bone plating, you can do that, or you can do overgrowth. You know, there's just so many options. None of these are bad. Some are just better than others. So that's pretty much what that is. With that said, let me get into a training tool here. I forgot what I was going to show you guys, but we'll see if we remember. So pretty much Warwick's Q heals him. You can press it and it heals him, or what you can do is you can hold on to it and you'll actually follow them. So if this guy was to flash over here, you'll actually be able to follow him, or if he dashes, or if he does anything. You see this blood scent right here? Press W and you get a trail you can follow. It boosts his attack speed, or his movement speed, and everybody knows this. It just makes you move a lot faster, easier to gank, that sort of stuff. Now your E. Your first trigger, your E, you gain 50% damage reduction for 2.5 seconds. At the end of it, if you don't do anything, it'll activate, and then Warwick will howl, causing all nearby enemies to flee. So the first part of the E, you can press it and you take 50% less damage. Now the second part of the E, you can press E again early and you get a fear, so they start running away from you. So that's how you use your E. Your W is pretty much, let me show you guys how your W works. Your W works is a run, but the second part of your W is this. When they get lower half HP, Warwick gets an attack speed increase on the target. See how I'm attacking faster? As the lower the target gets, the faster I attack. Let's just take another look at it. This is my regular attack speed. Very slow, very slow. Now once they get lower, Warwick attacks faster and faster. See that? So that's part of Warwick's W. You want to max the W first. Show you guys again. The regular attack speed, and then once they get below half HP, he gets stronger, faster, faster. See that? Just gorgeous. So now you want to max the W first always. And then his ultimate, pretty much you press R and it's like a stun. It suppresses them is what it actually is. You do damage, you heal off of it. There's so many things, you know. It leaps for 2.5 seconds, suppressing the first champion he collides with for 1.5 seconds, deals damage, and applies unhit effects 3 times. Warwick heals for 100% of all damage he deals during infinite duress. So that's actually super OP once you start snowballing with Warwick. So that's that. We'll move on to the next steps. Some of the more important, you know, things you should know. You know, your 2 red buffs are going to be the most important buffs. So we're talking about buff EXP now, and this is important to know because so many people spend their time clearing the whole jungle that, you know, it just isn't as effective as it should be. So anyways, you get the red buff, it gives you the most XP. Blue buff, and you get the grump and the thing over here. These are the ones you should be focusing. The 2 here, the 2 on the outer sides, and then the 2 scuttles. So it's really these 2, and then scuttles, the 2 crabs that spawn in the river, and then the frog here and the thing here. This is what I do before every game. Every game I take a look at both sides. This is how you should do it when you play jungle. This is a little bit more advanced, guys, so it's not as it's not as basic, but it's still a basic guide because we're playing WW. But this is what I do for every single game. I look at the top side, you know, I look at my enemy laners, I look at my ally laners. Who's gonna be the easiest to gank, you know? Who's got the most kill potential on my team? Mordekaiser's got a pull and he's got a slam. He does a shit ton of damage. I mean, he does a lot of damage. And then Akali does a lot of damage. She's got 1 slow and she's kind of sticky, so she can stick onto them once she gets level 6. So she's pretty OP too. And then we got Vayne here, not the best ally to camp, just because she's so weak early, especially compared to her enemies. Now, since I've taken a look at my allies, you know, I want to snowball Mordekaiser, because once he gets ahead, he's so hard to stop. Same for Akali, super hard to stop both of these. And then I don't focus on bot lane so much, because Vayne is not she's a late game carry, and she's good. She gets snowballed. But I'll explain why I don't go with Vayne and why I go with the other two. Now, going back up to the list, we got the Rumble here. Rumble's very immobile, so he's got 2 slows, and if Mordekaiser lands the pole, or I land the Terrify on Warwick, it's over. Rumble's pretty much dead. You'll have to burn Flash. I'll follow up with my Q hold, you know, depending on how everything holds out. But Rumble's pretty much dead if I gank him and he overextends. And what I mean by overextending is, you know, once he passes, you know, this mark right here, the middle, the halfway mark, if he's standing over here or over here during turret, I can just walk up and kill him. That's pretty much what I'm talking about, overextending. Now we get the Cho'Gath jungle. You know, Cho'Gath's got a slower clear than Warwick. And so, you know, my plan is that I can invade Cho'Gath, you know, just because if I get him behind, you know, it's going to be easier for us to win. That was my original plan. It didn't turn out that way. And then we got Qiyana in the mid lane. She's very mobile. She's got a lot of damage. So not a good ganking opportunity, but Akali does have a lot of damage. In this game, Qiyana does push very aggressively, so she gets punished for that. And with the Jhin and the Zyra, Jin's got great early game, got good PO. He's got the E for the slow, he's got a W for a snare. And then Zyra's got the same thing. She's got the E, and then she's got the plants for the damage. Very dangerous for me to go bot lane. If I go bot lane and I feed, it's pretty much going to be game over. These two are going to hard carry the game. So most likely for me, the easiest place for me to snowball as a jungler, as a Warwick, is either Mordekaiser or Rumble. Akali, Mordekaiser. Get Mordekaiser ahead, slow down Rumble, get Akali ahead, slow down Qiyana, and then try to invade Cho'Gath because I'm stronger than him, I can steal his camps, I have better sustain than him. That was the original plan. That's the game plan for now. And now you can see, so the easiest kills are going to be top, and then it's going to be mid. Alright. Now we'll play the video. We'll watch. Take my red buff, and now by this time I'm already looking ahead. I see they're both being super aggressive, already fighting. I see Qiyana's about to dive. I activate my Terrify early because I was going to Terrify Flash if she starts chasing. However, Qiyana doesn't chase, so I carry on. I try to go invade the Cho'Gath. I'm making my way towards the Cho'Gath. And I see the chickens are gone. Interesting. He must have started there. And then I'm walking over here, and I can see, you know, I come back for a gank because she's overextended. She's past that halfway mark that I was talking about right here. I land the Terrify. She ulties. She ignites, and I KS. And I go back and I do my stronger buff, my blue buff. Give me some mana, some regen. Finish my buff as soon as possible, and then I take my next big buff, which is my next big camp, which is the crab. Now, tip: whenever the crab is terrified, stunned, rooted, you do more damage to it. And then after that, I go do my Gromps, just because there's nowhere to gank. You can see Rumble's pushed in. Qiyana's fighting again, so I could have gone mid, but instead of that, I go to Gromp. And then this is what happens. I see the fight going on mid, that they're very aggressive, so I start heading in that direction. I wait till I get behind her, I press W, I press E. We did not see the Cho'Gath here. Anyways, I end up taunting her. Flash for the kill, just so she doesn't get away. So you can see how that's effective ganking. You can see I use the Q on Warwick there. I hold the Q so I get behind Cho'Gath. I just clear vision here. I'm just trying to be as effective as possible. I see a wild Zyra there. I get my camp here, and I plan to back for my Tiamat. Now anyways, I end up not backing because I see that Mordekaiser is in trouble here, and Rumble is low, so that gives me super speed. I'm chasing at super speed here. I'm just honestly telling myself, you know, there's a chance that Warwick, Mordekaiser is able to outplay both of these guys and live long enough for me to get there, and that did turn out to be the case. You can see Mordekaiser ults and gets a double kill because I came. So it's just, normally every game is not like this, but this is just a game where, you know, they pushed too far, they were too aggressive, and now their whole team is just behind. Pretty much, this point of the game, you know, everyone's discouraged. It's 7-1. It's pretty much a wrap at this point. Now, my red buff is spawning soon. I'm heading towards the turtle because I see the scuttles spawning soon as well. So I go to the scuttle, I take it, Rumble's here, we fight. Rumble runs away, I take the scuttle. You can see I'm not focusing, I'm sticking to the game plan, I'm not focusing on bot lane at all. And I see Rumble's pushed again, so I head up top, I use my sweeper so that he doesn't see me. Try to get a gank off here, and perfect. We get the kill there, Rumble's 0-2 now, and Rumble rage quits. So that is huge. Huge. Remember how I said the easiest lane to gank is going to be top lane? I saw this game play out in my head before I even started the game, and played it out perfectly. Now these guys are low, so I head to help out. Unfortunately, they're both dead already. I get one kill, and I think I die here. Not too positive. Nope, we're good. So now pretty much we got top lane turret. I come back to gank. The reason why I'm bot lane now is because I'm so strong. I'm 3-0-2. I've got so many items, you know, I'm not scared of these guys anymore. Janna's got abilities to peel for Vayne if anything goes wrong. So that's why I come bot. You know, I've already got mid and top fed. I mean, mid's not fed, but I got top fed. Mid's doing okay. And so I transition my power to the bot lane. So I get this. Notice how I'm not even going for the wolves. I mean, you can, but you don't have to. Now this is a huge thing. A lot of players do not go and get the rift early, around 10-12 minutes. I don't know why they don't do it. This game is played in Platinum 2 Elo ranked. And even in Platinum, people don't get the rift, and it's such an easy. Rift can easily mean anywhere from one free turret to you know 3 to 4 turrets free, depending, you know. I get the rift, you know, just gives me more pressure, and so now. You guys can see I get the rift. And now what I wanted to do next, I was debating on, was letting rift go mid. But I just saw these guys are just so low. It's just so low. This is normal speed. I'm running at extremely fast pace here to get to him. And he's just done for. Now that's why I say Warwick is one of the most OP champions. Just look at that. I hold on to my Q just in case she flashes so I can follow her through her flash. She doesn't, so we're good. At this point, I let the rift go. We get one free turret. Just by having the rift, we get one free turret. Get my red buff, you know, just because at this point I clear so fast, I start doing like the other camps. And you know, this is the mid game. We've got top turret, you know, we've got mid turret, we've got bot turret. You know, around this time, as a jungler, I would say if you're ahead, you know, really focus on trying not to farm so much and play a little bit more around your team. Try to win the game at this point. Try to close out the game before they get a chance to come back, because Warwick falls off. So as you can see, there's a fight breaking out mid, so I head towards it. I clear some vision here. I know that Jin's dead. I haven't seen Rumble in a long time. I see Cho'Gath top lane, so I'm not scared of getting the dragon stolen at all. And I see dragon spawning, so I head towards dragon. I did see Kiana over here. Did see Kiana heading, and I did see Kiana farming, so I wasn't scared at all. I know that Jin just respawned. I can't see this part of the map, but I know that Jin just respawned. So I'm not even scared at all. And I saw Cho'Gath die top lane at this point. So I'm not even scared. I start doing dragon. You know, just focusing the objectives. Trying to get the whole team as strong as possible. And we try to do something here. Now really this should have been a mid turret. And it turned out not being a mid turret. I don't know why. Now at this point it's 4v5. This is pretty much a free win at this point. But what's going on here? It's just us not grouping efficiently. So it's honestly, it's a 4v5, but we're playing it like it's a 4v4 because Mordekaiser's top, these three are mid, and Vayne's doing her own thing bottom, trying to get strong. And that's what Vayne players like to do. They like to split push in 1v1. They have 1v1 outplay potential. Pretty much at this point, I'm just playing as aggressive. You notice how I'm not farming as much. You know, I'm just trying to go for objectives as much as possible. Denying enemy XP at this point. Right here. I go up. You know, it's just kind of having map awareness, you know, at this point. It's looking at your map, you know, trying to make plays. Trying to get picks and take turrets. That sort of stuff. Now, this game would have been a lot easier if we all just grouped. But we didn't. And unfortunately, I auto the turret a few times instead of Zarya and die. That's pretty much a clap. We pretty much win just because of that. You know, so it seems like it was a free game. But if you think about it, you know, it would have never turned out this way if we didn't do the essentials, you know. If we didn't. Alright, so just to recap the whole video and what everything you guys should have learned, if you guys didn't, you know, you gotta know your game plan, you gotta know what you're gonna do, you gotta know your champion's abilities, you gotta know what they do, you gotta know how to build, and you gotta know what lanes to gank, which lanes to gank, when to gank, and you know, you gotta know how to gank with your champion. You know, good ganking signals are stuff as, you know, just they're pushed halfway, you know, they're low HP, they're low mana, they don't do much damage. They're immobile, they're easy to gank, they don't have a dash to escape from you other than flash or a ghost. You know, your ally does a lot of damage, or you know, you'd have some CC such as the Terrify. You can burn a flash, you know, or like if you know you can burn a flash, you know, go for it. It's gonna make it easier for your team to kill them because your team's gonna have flash and they won't. Or you know, even if someone's losing, you know, provide presence for your ally laner so they can farm. You know, if it's like a Nasus into a Vayne or into a Renekton, you want to help him out by just showing up into the lane, you know, giving him space or your ally space to farm. And depending on you, you know, you make the call. But these are just kind of like signals for you to know when to do what to do, sort of thing. Now, bag time to gank would be, you know, when your teammate is below halfway. Pretty much the same thing. When your team is too far pushed up to the turret, you don't want to gank. Now there is a way you can gank. You go through the side bushes and you can gank that way too. You know, if your team is low HP, you don't want to gank. If your team is low mana, you don't want to gank. If your team is immobile, then it's up to you to decide, do you have enough CC for the kill or to burn a flash? You know, your ally does burst damage. You know, if your ally does, if you're ganking like a Vayne or you know, a Kassadin, someone late game that doesn't do a lot of early game damage, then you're making a huge mistake already. You know, that sort of stuff. So pretty much the same thing, just vice versa in different terms. And then your teammate is losing. You know, you don't want to gank a losing lane because what happens is you'll either both die, or he will flame you if you die, or he will die because you will walk up and then you'll see the enemy jungler, you'll ping him away, but by that time it's too late because he's already caught in a 1v1 and then he loses. And he flames you. So there's just so many bad things that can go wrong when you gank a bad lane. So just don't do it. And also remember that when you are, when it gets to the mid game, once you get to the mid game stage, what a lot of players do is they autopilot, and what they end up doing is they just play the game for the heck of it. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know why they're doing it. They're just doing it, and sometimes they hope that they just win. So what you need to do is you need to focus on which turret do you want, which dragon do you want, what area do I have to ward up, where can I get a pick, how can I set up a pick, how can I kill someone, or you know, how can I gain an advantage, you know, or doing the head count technique where you count the heads, You know, can I take this objective? I just saw that these 2 died here. That means I have to worry about these 3. I saw this one pop up down bot lane, so the only 2 I have to worry about is these other 2. So that's pretty much what that is. So remember the head count, you know, and then mid game, focus, end the game. Don't just endlessly roam and do kills and team fight for no reason. And so with all that said, you know, that's my basic how-to jungle guide. It wasn't focused on Warwick specifically. I wanted to focus more on, you know, just jungle mechanics, beginner jungle mechanics, you know, that sort of stuff. But there was a little bit of, you know, just kind of, a lot of people are more comfortable, and even for beginners, it's going to be easier for beginners to play Warwick. And so that's why I chose Warwick for this guide. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you guys did, leave a like below. If you guys didn't, feel free to dislike the video. Just leave me a comment as to why. And if you did like it as well, feel free to let me know that below as well. Very excited to see everybody's comments. If you haven't already subscribed, already do that. If you can help me share the video, that's even better. I'd be more than happy to see you sharing. It'd make me so happy to see you share the video. But aside from that, Little Boy of Hope is out. If you guys have any other questions, leave them below. If you guys want me to make a certain video, leave that below. Other than that, Little Boy of Hope is out. Good luck on the Rift, Hope fam, and we'll see you again next time.